Hello students. In the last session, we have seen a brief introduction of what is environment. That is, we are all living in our surrounding. We are surrounded by the environment. So it was necessary that we briefly introduce the environment. Today, let us go with what is your syllabus. So talking about your syllabus is going to be a new syllabus. Until the last year it was a MCQ paper, but from this semester the CBCS pattern has been applied and you are going to be writing a theory paper of 40 marks for this subject, that is your environmental science, and it is a compulsory paper. So let us see what is this environmental science. So environmental science is going to be a theory exam of 40 marks, and around 10 marks are going to be for your internal assessment, which you will be scoring through your internal exams and attendance. Total of 50 marks you will be gaining after studying the environment science subject. The duration of the exam is going to be 2 hours. So coming to the syllabus, herein there are going to be 2 units of 16 marks each that you have to study. Unit 1 is ecosystem, biodiversity and natural resources. Unit 2 is environmental pollution, global issues and legislations. Coming to Unit 1, here you are studying concepts such as definition, scope and basic principles of ecology and environment. So that is what we have seen, the definition of environment in my last session. Then we will be studying biological levels of organization in the form of population, community, ecosystem and biosphere. Then we will be going to the ecosystem, its types, terrestrial, aquatic and artificial. After which, organization of ecosystem, how the ecosystem is going to be divided into two forms, biotic and abiotic. Biotic is going to be the living organisms, so role of plants, animals and microorganisms. Abiotic components are the non-living organisms, so role of water, light and temperature. Then we will be going to food chain and food webs. Population and community ecology will be the next part, in which you will be studying population density, natality, mortality and growth curves like sigmoid growth curve. After that, community structure and species diversity, diversity types and levels such as alpha, beta and gamma, and study of Western Ghats as a biodiversity hotspot. Then will be Unit 2, Environmental Pollution, Global Issues and Legislations. Here you will be studying the causes, effects and control measures of air pollution, water pollution and soil pollution. Concept of global warming, eutrophication, carbon sequestration and carbon footprinting. You will be knowing what is sustainable development and ecological restoration, something about solid waste management and water harvesting methods. Then we will be studying some legislations like Forest Conservation Act, Biodiversity Bill 2002, Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Then conservation biology, what are the threats or problems to biodiversity and what is wildlife trade. Then something about conservation of natural resources, so renewable and non-renewable resources, biodiversity conservation, in situ and ex situ methods in that. And once we finish all this, that is 2 units, if the time permits and if everything is all right and your college starts regularly, then we will be taking you to a field visit to a nearby forest to study the biodiversity. To study the biodiversity, we don't have to go to a far away forest. It's a nearby forest. So the simple botanical garden that is going to be there into our college itself can give you a large amount of biodiversity. So we will see that. And then, if possible, a visit to industrial area to study impact of pollution on biodiversity. So this is going to be all that you are going to be studying in this semester about environmental science. Then let us study the main important part. What is the question paper pattern? So in this question paper, you will be having two parts, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 will be having 6 questions carrying 2 marks each, in which students have to answer any 4 questions out of 6. Part 2 there will be 4 questions, 2 from each unit with sub questions A, B and C carrying 16 marks each. I will tell you how this is, and students have to answer any 2 questions out of 4 questions. So part 1 will give you 8 marks and part 2 will give you 32 marks, total of 40 marks, 10 marks from the internal and 50 marks from the total of 50 marks. So this is your question paper pattern. I will tell you once again how your question paper pattern is, especially the part 2. Yes, so talking about the question paper pattern. So let us see what your question paper pattern is going to be there. So herein you are going to be writing 40 marks paper, in which there will be 10 marks IA. So a total of 50 marks you are going to be getting. In this 40 marks there are going to be 2 sessions or 2 parts. So part 1 is going to be consisting of 6 questions, from which you are going to be answering only 4 questions of 2 marks each, which will be giving you 8 marks. Then, so talking about the part 2, herein we can see that you are going to be given 4 questions, out of which you are going to be answering only 2 questions. Here, remember that this 6 questions are going to be 3 from each unit, and your 4 questions are going to be 2 from each unit. Don't forget this. So you have to study both the units if you have to score good marks. Then coming to your part 2. So as I was telling you, in this part 2 there are going to be 4 questions, out of which you are going to be answering only 2 questions. So in this 2 questions also, these 2 questions are going to be of 16 marks each. So 2 questions of 16 marks, which are going to be giving you 32 marks. But here there is a twist. This 16 marks is going to be divided into 3 parts, that is A, B and C. So there can be questions of any mark. So that is going to be a difficulty level. So any marks, by which I mean, so this 16 marks can be consisting of, suppose if the A part is going to be of 5 marks, the B can be 5 marks and the C can be of the 6 marks. So 5, 5, 10 and 1, 6, that is 16 marks. This is going to be one possibility. Or there can be another possibility. For example, if part A is going to be of 4 marks, part B can be of 4 marks, part C can be of 8 marks. So 4, 12 and 16. Again, one possibility. Then another possibility, suppose if A is going to be of 2 marks, then B can be of 6 marks. So 6, 7, 8 and again 8 marks. Third possibility. Or else they can also be asking you, now for example, if the part A is going to be for 3 marks, B is for 3 marks, C can be for 10 marks. So again 10, 3, 3, 6, 16. So part A, part B and part C, for how many marks it is going to be coming, it totally depends on the paper setter. So he can be putting the marks of any number. So herein what you have to do? You have to be prepared to write an answer for 10 marks also, and that same answer you must be able to write for 2 marks also. So you have to be preparing yourself in such a manner that you know how to elongate the answer and how to write the answer in brief. So that you have to learn if you want to score good marks in this paper. So remember, if you are going to be asked the question for 4 marks or 3 marks, you will be writing just a touch and go. That is for just the headings or just the key points answer is required. For 2 marks, only the definitions will be required. And if I am going to be talking about 10 marks, here in an explanatory questions are going to be asked. You have to explain in detail. So in this manner, the questions are going to be totally different. The question paper pattern is going to be a little bit different over here. So see that you are preparing yourself in that manner. So this is going to be all about the question paper pattern. So let us take little bit syllabus also today. So let us start with the environment. So we have already studied what is environment. What is environment? Environment is going to be anything that is going to be around you, that is going to be surrounding you, is going to be called as the environment. So this environment, when we are going to be talking, let us study about the scope of the environment. What is the scope of environment? So for that, you need to know first of all, what do you mean by scope? Scope is going to be nothing but area of study. Area of study. So where all you are going to be applying this environment. So by knowing what is the scope definition, now you will be able to understand that environment is going to be having a very wide scope, because environment is existing right from the atmosphere to the biosphere. So before going to the scope, first let us see what is this environment consisting of. So the environment is going to be consisting of, first of all, atmosphere. So what is going to be this atmosphere? So atmosphere is going to be nothing but, suppose you are going to be having, this is your earth. This is your earth. Around this earth, there is going to be a layer of gases present. A thick layer of gases is going to be present around this earth. These gases are going to be of different types, in which the major ones are going to be the nitrogen and the oxygen. The nitrogen and oxygen. So these are going to be the two important gases or major gases of our atmosphere. Apart from that, there are other gases also, like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. So many various other gases are also present. But the important ones are nitrogen and oxygen. Let us consider them now. Atmosphere. So these gases are nothing but the atmosphere. Why is this atmosphere necessary for us? Because whatever the radiation, cosmic radiations coming from the outer space and from the sun are not reaching the earth only because of the atmosphere. The atmosphere, being just a layer of gases, is protecting us from various things that are going to be there in the space, harmful for the living organisms. So herein, the atmosphere is going to be playing a very important role in protecting us. It is not only protecting us from the cosmic rays, but also it is going to be protecting us from the harmful UV radiations. Only the required UV radiations, which are going to be below 300 nanometer, are going to be allowed inside the Earth's atmosphere to reach the surface of the Earth. Only that much amount which is necessary for the survival of the life on this Earth. So rapid or so important work the atmosphere is going to be doing for us. Then the warmth on the earth, or whatever the warmthness you are having, is going to be because of this atmosphere. If the atmosphere was not there, life on earth would not be possible. Then coming to the second one, that is hydrosphere. What is hydrosphere? Hydro is nothing but life, sphere is again coming to the earth. So here, whatever our earth is there, majority of the earth is going to be covered by water. We have heard about this right from our childhood. In this earth that we are going to be having, majority of earth is covered with water, and in that we can see around 97% of it is going to be present in the form of ocean. Around 2% is going to be present in the form of glaciers and ice caps at the North Pole and the South Pole of the earth. And only 1% of the water is going to be sustaining life. That is going to be your river water, stream water, well water. Only 1%. So only 1% of this water is going to be allowing you to sustain the life on this earth. So this is going to be the hydrosphere. Coming to the third one, that is your lithosphere. So lithosphere is going to be the earth's crust or the surface layer of the earth, you can say, which is going to be consisting of the soil, organic matter, the rocks, or you can say whatever the topmost layer of the earth, which is wherein the living organisms are surviving. It is going to be helping the survival of the living organisms. That is the lithosphere. And the last one is going to be your biosphere. So biosphere, herein bio is life, sphere here again the surrounding, so here or the circle. So biosphere is going to be nothing but it is the living organisms present on this earth. Right from the human beings to the other animals to the plants, all will be included in the biosphere. So in this manner, right from the atmosphere to hydrosphere, from the lithosphere to the biosphere, all these are interacting with each other to form the scope of the environment. All this is environment, all this is what is happening in nature. So the scope of environment is very large. When I am saying the scope of environment, here we are not only studying how we can protect here all these things, but what is a role of human beings to see that all this is going on in a balance. Today we can see that due to the pollution that we are spreading, due to the various human activities, we are spoiling all these layers of the earth. We are disturbing the ecosystem. So in the scope of the environment, we will be studying how we are maintaining this environment, how we can keep it maintained, keep it stable, so that we are studying in the scope. Together with that, we will be studying what all is going to be environment consisting of. So each of this can be studied as a separate branch. So this is going to be all about scope of the environmental science. So in the next session, we will start with the principles of the environment.